Anywho, welcome back to another episode of Dinner with Don. Took a break last week. Just needed to gather my thoughts, about what's going on and stuff like that, which we'll get to in a minute. Some of y'all might be back at work, so hope y'all are staying safe. It seems like everything's going back to normal, from what I can say at least, but hey, it's a pandemic, so just stay safe, still take the precautionary measures, and yeah. Carry on now. So 2020 so far has been a whirlwind of a year, and it's only June. From the Australian bushfires to the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi, along with 7 others on the helicopter, to the emergence of COVID-19 and now unfortunate death of George Floyd. So I genuinely thought that 2020 it started okay on a personal note, but as the months went on, it just kept getting worse and worse, and I thought this was going to be the shittiest year ever, until I saw this post on social media which basically changed my perspective on things. It is tragic, yes, it's so unfortunate what's happening around the world, but currently we are living in history. We're experiencing history. Like 2020 is a period that's going to be spoken about forever. Basically, it's a very pivotal time in history. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 2 to 3 weeks, there's something bigger going on besides the coronavirus, which are the protests happening around the world. That, for those of you that don't know what actually started these protests or what the catalyst was, it was the horrific death of George Floyd, who was basically a victim to police brutality. It's not the first victim of police brutality in the US or wherever, because it happens all over the world, which is sad, because the police are there to protect you, and if you're afraid of them or they're gonna harm you, then who can you trust, really? And I feel like the protests are happening now because the generation of today aren't afraid to speak their mind. This is an issue that goes decades upon decades. Police brutality and racial profiling mixed together, which is the worst. Yeah, like I said, it's been happening forever, and I think Will Smith said it best. It's being filmed now, so that the whole world gets to see what happens. The most amazing thing that I have ever witnessed have been these protests, these peaceful protests that have been happening all around the world. Started in the US, because obviously people want change, and then the protests carried on in UK, Bristol, and even in London, where John Boyega pretty much poured his heart out. He doesn't care if he's going to lose his job at Disney. He just wants justice. He just wants this systemic racism abolished. And then it happened in New Zealand, which was wow. Like you shouldn't be afraid to live in your own country, basically. You shouldn't be afraid to go out for a walk. You shouldn't be afraid to go play in the park. If you're a parent, you shouldn't be afraid, or you shouldn't be worried that your kid might not come back home, because it's genuinely just sad. And I've seen some videos of the protests. The police are actually using force to get people to back down. So yeah, as peaceful as the protests were, the government answered back with violence in the US, which is again unfortunate and tragic, because violence is only answered by violence. I've seen some bad stuff from these protests, and yeah, it's left me speechless, really. Now, the biggest takeaway from all this is that I hope countries like Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, all the more developing countries can actually learn from what's going on here, because this isn't a sudden like a flick of the switch. These are people that have been oppressed for generations upon generations, and I know for a fact that there is discrimination in Sri Lanka, where I'm from. There is racism. We all judge people by their color, by their religion, or for what joy, like you are pretty much not allowing yourself to know another person because they're from another religion or race or whatever, which really is backward-minded. It's just backward-minded. Like, you don't need to think that way. Alright, well, that's it for this episode of Dinner with Don. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave some comments below on what you think of everything that's happening around the world. What more could we face in the future, because we still have a good half a year left. 2020, it's flown by. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because I know that tells me that you guys are enjoying the content. And I'm finally gonna be streaming live on Twitch. First stream is this Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Dubai time. So come by, say hi. I'll leave a link below, and it's gonna have some fun, man. Till next time.